Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil.
Breaking now at 10, strong words from President Trump tonight after a U.S. military operation removed Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro and his wife Celia Flores from their home last night. This comes as tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela has been growing. Now take a look right now. You're watching the moment the plane carrying Maduro and his wife landed in New York earlier this evening. And this all comes as he's set to face drug and weapons charges in Manhattan federal court next week. Now, there's a lot to get to with this developing story, but first, thank you so much for joining us on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Annette Montgomery. Now, tonight, we're hearing from Connecticut lawmakers and local Venezuelan groups. But first, Fox 61's Stefan Reels joins us in studio right now. Now, Stefan, break down just how we got here.
And Annette, as you can imagine, this morning has really been building for months now. And like you said, these things were tense between the United States and Venezuela. And really, since September 2025, the U.S. has progressively built a large military presence in the Caribbean and launched more than 35 strikes on what they said were drug boats coming from the Latin country. But I really want to give you a clearer picture of what exactly happened. Up on the top of the screen, you see on the right, you'll see the footage from Caracas, and that is in the northern part of Venezuela that you see dotted on your map. This is where the explosions took place. Now, this all stems from Maduro's role as Venezuela's president. The United States Department of War claims that Maduro was a dictator, and the Justice Department alleged he and his allies had turned Venezuelan institutions into drug trafficking-fueled corruption machines. Up until now, President Donald Trump has pressed Maduro to step down from his position as president, but last month he told reporters a more forceful option may be the way to go, like war possibly, to oust Maduro. Now, Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has been sworn in as the country's interim leader. And while President Trump said she would be willing to work with the U.S., especially for the betterment of the Venezuelan people, earlier today, Rodriguez, she pushed back against the arrest of Maduro.
We demand the immediate release of President Nicolás Maduro and his wife Celia Flores. The only president of Venezuela is President Nicolás Maduro.
Now, this move by the United States has caused a very heated divide from lawmakers across the country. Some said the move to arrest Maduro needed to happen, while others questioned whether or not President Trump had the authority to do so without the approval of Congress. United States Representative Jim Himes agreed, yes, Maduro was an illegitimate ruler, but he said that other members of Congress and himself, they haven't seen any evidence that military action was needed, nor a plan of how to prevent the Latin country from descending into chaos now. Now, Himes said in a statement, quote, Secretary Rubio repeatedly denied Congress that the administration intended to force a regime change in Venezuela. The administration must immediately brief Congress on its plan to ensure stability in the region and its legal justification for this decision, end quote. Meanwhile, you had Connecticut Republicans who said President Trump did what he had to in order to keep the American people safe. In a statement from State Senator Stephen Harding, he said, quote, President Maduro had been an integral culprit in fostering the narcotic ring in our country, which has killed far too many Americans. I hope he is brought to justice and we can continue to address the substance abuse crisis that is in our state and country and what it continues to face, end quote. But Annette, this really, as you can imagine, is a very complex issue. There's a lot of fallout we've already seen across the country and the world, and that comes from flight cancellations to what will happen to Venezuela's oil. Now, we'll get more into this in just about 15 minutes, and later on, like you said, we will hear from Venezuelans living here in Connecticut about what they think about Maduro's arrest. But for now, in the studio, Stefan Reels, Fox 61.